Hey everyone, this is Modest Millions, and today we're going to be talking about something that I have wanted to cover for a long time, and that is the top things I wish I would have known when starting out gold making. This comes from over a decade of gold making in the game myself, and hopefully you guys can take some of this info and have a smoother transition into gold making, so let's go. Alright guys, so right off the bat, I just wanted to talk about one of the bigger things on this list, and that is making sure that you have balance in your gold making. And what I mean by that is making sure that you're not putting everything into one market, or you're not putting everything that you have into 1,000 different markets when starting off. Because it's very easy with all the information that's out there and all the possible ways to make gold in the game to overextend yourself in both ways. So let me give you an example. Say that you have 20,000 gold to invest in something right now. I would not want you to take all 20,000 of your gold and invest it all into one item or one set of items, meaning like one herb from Shadowlands and then try and flip it. And it's not because I don't think that that would work out. Sometimes flipping it like that is good, but this is just simply something that you should not be doing in the early stages of gold making, and you should not be using all of your gold to do it. If something changes overnight and you wake up and all of the herbs are half of what they were the night before, then you've just lost a significant amount of your raw gold. On the other hand, if you have 20,000 gold, I also wouldn't want you to craft one of every single item that you can possibly craft in the game and post it up. That doesn't make sense either when you're starting out. This is also not productive and can really hurt you by stretching you too thin across too many markets when you're starting out. So when people ask me what they should be investing, I normally tell them that when they're investing into crafting or flipping items, if they have under 1,000,000 gold, then they should never have more than 50% of their raw liquid gold invested into the markets, because you do want to have a decent amount of raw gold available for when deals or other things may come up. So for the first point, really just make sure that you have balance in all of your markets. You need to be touching into some of the raw material markets as well as farming. Do your research on your server, check what items have high sell rates with good percent profit margins, and invest in crafting in those items. The next point is simply don't be afraid in the beginning with gold making to trade time for gold. This is something that I see a lot of people miss or have issues with when they're starting off. And this is really because you'll see a bunch of elitist goblins telling them on the forums and on videos that there's no reason that they need to farm because they can make 500k in an hour sitting in Orbos crafting. So why would I ever want to farm anything? And for a majority of people getting into gold making, this is just an unrealistic goal. What they don't talk about is to make that 500k, it took them 700k in investment. And if you're sitting like a lot of people that have messaged me and asked me about gold making at 10 to 80k raw gold, and that's all you've ever had, making gold by crafting only can really hurt your true potential in gold making. This does kind of come back and tie into the first point, which is making sure that you have a good balance. You should be balancing your gold making between crafting and gathering. Something that I highly recommend to new or even old goblins is take advantage of using high profit gathering professions to build a steady raw gold foundation, and then later use it just to fill in the gaps. Normally in an hour of playing, when I'm gold making, I'll spend 20 to 30 minutes restocking the auction house with the crafted items that I've been selling, and then spend the rest of the hour farming materials in the open world. When you balance your time between crafting and gathering like this, it really makes gold making much easier and less daunting to new goblins coming in. Now, the next point might be slightly contradicting coming from me while you're watching one of my videos, so hopefully I can explain. When you're doing research about a farm or a better way to craft an item or what you should be crafting, how much gold they're going to get in an hour from a farm, don't just blindly believe everything that you see, and make sure that you're checking all of this information for yourself. And also, especially with farms, make sure that you understand the difference between a raw gold farm and a potential gold farm. So I'm going to use one of my videos as an example. There was a skinning spot that I was using. It was making me anywhere from 55 to 70k per hour depending on how many mobs I was able to kill. And yes, technically that is 55 to 70k per hour in potential gold, because for me to see that much gold in the hour, I have to sell the raw materials from skinning. Now this is very easy to do, but the reason that I listed this video at 50 to 55k per hour is because there are a lot of variables. Someone that's on a high pop server may have much lower prices on this farm and may only make 30k an hour. And then someone that's on a low pop server may have ridiculously high prices, and this farm may be 100k an hour for them on their server. That's why all of my farming videos, I give you a breakdown of exactly what I got so that you can run the numbers and see an average of what you're looking at on your server for completing an hour of farming. Because technically for myself, when I ran the farm, I was getting between 50 and 75k for the hour just from leather and the meat, but I also got a BOE drop during the hour when I was testing, and that BOE sold for over 100k the next day. So if I had really wanted to, I could have made a claim that it was 150k in an hour because I got a BOE to sell so fast. But I don't do that because it's unrealistic, and most people either won't get an epic BOE or they won't be able to flip one that fast on their server. So make sure that you do your due diligence and test the farms for yourself. Don't get discouraged if you don't make exactly what someone else is claiming they made. Use the videos and guides as a template for you to see the amount of materials that you're looking at getting within the hour and adjust to your market. Now, for the last two things, I want to talk about one being an add-on and the other being about alt. So the first one is about Trade Skill Master, and I have to admit, when this add-on first came out way back, I was skeptical and stuck in my ways, and I continued doing what I had been doing for a very long time. So what I'm saying is, don't be hard-headed like I was. And my point with this is simple. Even if you don't take the time to truly maximize your potential that you could have with Trade Skill Master, the tooltip on this add-on is completely invaluable. When hovering over an item, it'll tell you almost anything that you could ever want to know about a particular item. And the setup for the tooltip is super easy. You just come over here to Settings in Trade Skill Master, select tooltip, and you can see the items that you want to show on your tooltip. This will save you so much headache in the long run and help you be able to make an educated decision on whether or not something that you're looking at buying is a good price, normal price, or way overpriced. And like I said, even if you literally just use Trade Skill Master for nothing else other than the tooltip, it's completely worth the download just for that. And this final part is something that I've talked a lot about before, and something that I was personally guilty of for many years. But then finally I did it and I never looked back. But if you're doing gold making at any level in the game, you have to have a bank alt. Having one character that you send all of your crafted items, farmed materials, items that you're wanting to flip, and have all of them on that character so that they can process putting them into the auction house is a huge time saver. Just simply create an alt, run them over to one of the main starting areas, and that's it. Stack them with bags and pay a couple of people to sign a guild charter, and now you have a guild bank. And simply send everything that you ever craft or farm up to this character so that you can have everything on one character to streamline your posts to your auction house. This will seriously streamline your gold making and keep your main and all of your other crafting alts from having their mailboxes bogged down with either sales or expired items, and then potentially forgetting to clear a character's mailbox and relist some items. This is truly an absolute must for anyone that wants to get into gold making seriously, and of course later on down the line you want to have this bank alt to be on a separate account so that you can have both of them up at the same time, but that's for a different video. And that's really it, guys. Those are my big suggestions and tips and things that I truly wish that I would have known before starting out gold making. There are plenty of other things that would have helped, however these are the biggest and would have truly eased my introduction into gold making. So I hope this helps. If you haven't already, come join the Discord. Also follow me on Twitch. We're streaming every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. And if you want more exclusive content and pre-release information, come support me on Patreon. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.